This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag NFL.
There's battles everywhere on the roster, so it's important for me to be fair to the players is to put the best player out there. When we go out to practice tomorrow, Kirk Cousins is the starting quarterback. He's the guy, and he's going to get a ton of reps, and he deserves them because he's played really good football. But I want Fernando and I want Aiden to push him.
That is the new Raiders coach, Clint Kubiak, on Kirk Cousins being the starter. Now, obviously, he is a veteran of many, many years. Seems like, 15 years. And Fernando Mendoza is there. The number one pick, Riley Jensen, quarterback coach extraordinaire, sitting in for DJ. What do you think of that? Kirk Cousins being the starter from day one. And what do they do with Fernando Mendoza?
I don't think they could have found a better match for Mendoza. I think this is a perfect situation for Mendoza. He gets to watch for a little while. When Kirk starts to struggle a little bit, they'll bring in the new player. Dude, these two cheese balls deserve each other. I love these two together. I mean, they're like the same person like 20 years later. I'm excited. I like Fernando. I think he's a good player. I think there's a lot of things that he's going to have to do a little bit better to be in the NFL for a long time. And I think Kirk Cousins is the perfect match for him. He's the guy that can help him out. He can guide him. He can show him things and warn him about some pitfalls going forward in his career.
But if Fernando Mendoza doesn't play a lot and doesn't have a great season, it blows my whole slogan. Because 45 years ago, 1981, which I think is 45 years ago. Help me out if it's not, but I think it is. The Dodgers brought up a pitcher by the name of Fernando Valenzuela, and we had Fernando Mania. And now, 45 years later, I want Fernando Mania.
Well, it's still coming. It's just
I know, but it has to be this year.
It has to be this year because
Fernando Mania with the Dodgers, didn't he play like 8 shutouts in a row? Do you remember that?
Why does it have to be this year?
Because
41 years
it
ago.
happened this year 45 years ago. Nobody says a slogan 46 years ago. It either has to be 40 or 45.
No one says 45 years ago.
They say the
They
5.
don't say that.
Yes, it is.
No, they don't.
Either it's a
The only
0
5
or a
is
5.
75. The only 5 is 70. Nobody goes 35 years ago today.
Yes,
No,
they do.
Nobody cares about 35. They do like 25 and they do 75. Those are the only 5s in there.
25 and 75. We got to wait 50 years to celebrate something?
No, I'm saying if you use a 5, it's only 25 and 75. No one cares about 35. Nobody cares about 45. Nobody cares about 65 years ago today. It might as well go 66. Nobody freaking cares.
Yeah, but you think of 66, you think of the old freeway. You don't even think of that. That's a poor example.
Because you think of the old freeway?
Yeah, Route 66. Haven't you ever heard of it?
Well, I'm
And
just
then they
saying
built
nobody
I-80,
cares
and it killed
65
all
or
those businesses.
66. They don't care.
Didn't you see the movie Cars? What's wrong with you?
I did see the movie Cars. There's a really good line in there.
What is it?
They ask him, they said, hey, how did you know you could do that? And he goes, I just never thought I couldn't.
Oh.
It's a great line.
It's like me in Stardom.
Right. You never thought you couldn't.
Yeah, exactly. And now when I played baseball, it's like...
You had a case of the can'ts and don'ts?
Why did you think you were going to suck? Because I never thought I could do anything but. 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan brought some reporters in and said it was his fault, not the other driver, as some previous erroneous reports had suggested. He said that his phone slid into a crack between the seats of his car and caused the accident reaching for it. You know, the old phone driving. Yikes. How many people have died because of that? That's nasty. And so my wife came up with the idea. She saw this thing and she bought it. It's a little, almost a container between the console and the seat. So if anything falls, it falls right in there, and then you don't have to go searching around. Or what I like to do.
Oh, the little thing in between. I've seen that. In between the seats, and it has a phone holder in there, or it causes it so it doesn't fall into the hole there.
Right. And then you can just reach down and get it, whether it be keys, glasses, whatever. But what I like to do is keep it plugged in. So then if it falls, then I can just reach the cord. And, we were at the staff barbecue a couple weeks ago. Yak was there, and I found out one of the moms of a husband who works on the station was saying something about the child had some chores that day, and she asked the child, "Are you going to complete those chores as assigned?" And he said, "Yeah, I will when you stop texting when we're driving." That was his response. And she wanted to wallop him, but had to...
Little disrespectful in public.
Yeah.
Like, that's maybe a
And that's an on-air guy. So then you guys can guess whose son said that to one of our on-air guys, which is a tongue twister to say, but you get the point. So yeah. He put that out there, man. Oh man, they would have had as Bruce Arians once said about one of his players when he was coaching the Cardinals. He's got a foot problem. And one of the reporters said, "I thought it was an arm or something else." He said, "No, it's a foot problem because he was dogging it at practice. And you know how far I stuck my foot up there. And now he has a foot problem." Baker Mayfield, he's not reaching a contract extension with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And he'll play out the final season, then become a free agent. And he'll probably be the Raiders' starting quarterback next year, the way they go. And the Browns, they made cornerback Denzel Ward the NFL's top-paid corner. 2-year, $62.5 million extension. He got $52.3 million guaranteed, and his $31.3 million on average tops is his position. Ooh, man. Cornerbacks are important. They're on the island. You have to say that.
Revis Island?
Yeah, you have to say that.
You do.
Denzel Ward. My wife, she taught in South Central LA at Washington Prep High School.
I knew that.
And
I thought it was Compton, but you corrected me the other day, and it was South
108th
Central.
and Danker, South Central.
Right.
And they did a movie. Remember when they used to have TV movies? Movie of the week, like on ABC or something. Well, they did this movie after she was
like
there.
the after-school special?
Yeah, it was at like 8 o'clock
Gotcha.
in the evening. And they did this movie on this principal who revitalized Washington High School in South Central Los Angeles and called it Washington Preparatory High School, meaning you'll go on to college. So they did this big movie about it. And the star of the movie, this plays into Denzel, who played George McKenna. You can look it up, the George McKenna story. It's there.
It was Denzel?
It was Denzel, a young Denzel.
Nice.
Yeah, he's like 25 years old.
Is Dorsey High School in South Central?
Close enough, yeah.
Close enough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just...
I had a couple teammates down at Snow from Dorsey High School.
That's where Sharif Shaw played.
Okay.
And Mike Love of the Beach Boys.
Okay.
They
It's from Dorsey?
Susan Dorsey is their name.
Yeah.
They had a little demographical makeover by the time Sharif got there. And so they were, and I covered LA City schools. And they were LA City.
I just specifically remember that because those were the LA riots in 1992.
1992, Wednesday, April 29th. I was covering baseball, and I took a transistor radio to the game because I knew there was potential for trouble, and I didn't want to be driving in that area where I was covering the games. I wanted to make sure I got on the freeway and did not do side streets. And got home, watched my city explode, and Reginald Denny get...
So you were living there?
I was living there. Yeah, I was right there.
Yeah, he told, well, both of them, one of them specifically told me, and I ain't ever going home.
and Washington High School was where the National Guard took over and stored their artillery to calm the riots. So that was right there, and that was on a Wednesday. I remember it vividly.
I'm sure you do.
And then that following Saturday, we went down as a group to help the cleanup. And that was something that I never thought I would see. So you got that going on. Wes Welker, he's now the Washington Commanders tight ends coach, being tapped to take over a position after Ben Steele was fired following a DWI charge last month. Okay, let's move on to college football.
Hashtag college football.
I don't think anything more than to say. I would just reference my comments earlier in the winter. I think I gave everybody a pretty clear indication of how those have went, and nothing's changed from my vantage point. We want to play the game. I want to play the game. We would be playing the game. Had some things come true that were said, and so hopefully we get to that point. Obviously, we want it to happen. I know our fan base wants it to happen. College football wants it to happen, and hopefully I'm up here, next year talking about, that game here on the future schedule. So we'll keep making progress and let you know if we have any more updates.
That's USC coach Lincoln Riley on why USC bailed on the rivalry with Notre Dame. That game should be played. It must be played. But since it's not played, the Cougars of BYU are going to be playing Notre Dame October 17th in Provo, Utah. Plus, the return game is next year, right? So they would, if SC is back on the schedule, they'd have to rearrange some stuff there. We'll see how that plays out. That's a rivalry that hits home, having worked in LA and then grew up in the East Coast in a Catholic environment where Notre Dame is such a big deal. Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti reiterated his league support for 2014 playoff model, said they can still eliminate the conference title games in time for the new format to begin in 27, which is obviously a year and a half from now, if all parties agree to expand the field. The faster it goes, the easier it will be. We'll get to that later on with Riley Jensen sitting in. Iowa coach Kirk Ferentz warned of what he sees as a growing, quote, imbalance in the sport with NIL money flowing. When we went to the Rose Bowl in 1981, the 13 years prior to that, there were two teams that went to the Rose Bowl from the Big Ten. So basically, everybody was lining up in August for third place. If we're not careful, we're going to get that kind of imbalance in college football. That's just how I see it. How do you see it?
Man, I think there's some truth to it, but the outliers that I would throw at you would be like Vanderbilt and BYU, who weren't paying players underneath the table and weren't doing some of those things underneath the table, and they've been able to flourish under NIL.
You got to put Indiana in there too.
Indiana, right? So some of these teams maybe had some morals back in the day, and
I used to have morals. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Right, you remember?
Yeah.
And now that the rules have changed and it's legal, the Vanderbilts, BYU, Indiana have been able to rise up and pay players legally, and I think there's an argument to be made that maybe some other teams will start winning because the rules have loosened it up a little bit for them to follow it the way they want to follow it. So, look, he has his opinion. There's lots of opinions out there. NIL is a crazy deal right now. I think everybody's trying to navigate those waters, and once the dust finally settles, and I don't know if it really will, because every time I say that, like a new nuance or a new different thing comes out with NIL. But if it ever does settle, I think we'll have a great product and a more balanced product than we've ever had.
All right, we'll see about that. We'll expand that a little later in the show. And hours after Ohio State announced its record jersey patch sponsorship, reportedly worth $17 million with J.P. Morgan Chase. Notre Dame, we're going SoFi, between 18 and 20 million. There you go. Classic example. It never ends. When will it end in the race to win?
What was BYU's patch I saw the other day?
Entrada.
That's right.
That
it was worth 18 to 20 million.
I don't know what it's worth, but I'm guessing it's not that. We can. The guy's a listener. I know he follows us on Twitter. Yock, if you see him, get him, big BYU guy, and get him on. We can talk to him about it. Ole Miss seeking close to $1 million in penalties from two of its former players who signed revenue-sharing contracts to return to the Rebels last season before opting out to join the Devil, Lane Kiffin at LSU. They're seeking $550,000 from defensive end Prince Will Umanamilian and $400,000 from former O-lineman Devin Harper, plus attorney's fees and court fees and lawsuits filed yesterday in Oxford, Mississippi. Yeah, and I want the Sun Devils to get some money, man. Sam Levitt, we're not good enough for you. Let you get to the playoff, and then you leave us, and you don't even go to the team banquet at the end of the season? Oh, my gosh. A lot of stuff to talk about college football today, and we will do that. Let's move on to the NBA.
Hashtag NBA.
If you go back to Cleveland, even if you go back to Cleveland and win the championship, it's not going to be as good as 2016. If you go to Miami and win a championship, it's not going to be as good as 2012, 2013. Those two places kind of got eliminated just because. You look at Golden State, and I ultimately don't think Brown was ever able to get over the history. And I understand it. I get it. What we all ultimately always knew is like, that's the hurdle to get over. You know, we live in a day and age where everybody who doesn't have anything to say have something to say. And so he's going to get crushed if he comes to the Warriors. Oh, man, you went to team up with Steph. Oh, you had to go to them, da-da. And I think ultimately that weighed in on the decision a lot. That played a big role in the Warriors not landing LeBron.
That's Draymond Green. So we live in a day and age where somebody who has nothing to say has something to say. Okay. Didn't make any sense, but what the heck? And he's going to return to the Warriors next season in a $27.7 million deal. He's the only player in NBA history that have made more $250 million in on-court earnings. 67 have reached that mark, and does not have a career average north of 10 points a game. I don't have any problem with that. Draymond brings a lot of attention to himself, obviously. And I think he once had a triple-double and did not score 10 points. So his value is obviously well beyond and way beyond, and does not include scoring.
It's a great teammate.
Which is fine. Yeah, help your team win, man. It's about winning.
I like Draymond. He's a great teammate.
Yeah. Maybe tone it down just a little.
Like when I draw it up and I'm like, hey, son, here's the type of player I want you to be as far as how to be a teammate. I just give him highlights of Draymond Green, like punching teammates, talking down to superstars, cussing coaches out. I love that dude.
So you were being sarcastic.
That's exactly how I want my son to be.
He's already there.
From what you've heard?
Oh, yeah, word on the street. Man. Oh, my gosh. Okay, let's move on to MLB.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
The next one. Swung on and hammered to deep right. Away, back and gone. A grand slam to right by Kyle Manzardo. 4-0 Cleveland on Kyle Manzardo's first grand slam of the year.
Swung on, hit high, deep center field. Has he done it again? Warning track wall, sail away. Dom Canzone. He has done it again.
Swung on and hit high in the air. Deep right center field. It's got a chance, Thomas, at the wall, and it is off the wall, and it bounces by both fielders. Caratini scores. Lee's going to score. Royce Lewis has tripled home the winning runs.
Oh! Those some highlights. Shohei. Yeah, he done it again. I'm looking at it right now against the old beleaguered, was it the Rockies? No, Seattle.
They played Seattle last night, yeah.
Castillo was watching there.
Dom Canzone, two homers for Seattle.
Yeah, the former Diamondback who they gave away. Hit 2 home runs there. And Shohei led off the game with a 432-foot Blastarino. There you go as far as that goes. And you heard Manzardo with the grand slam for Cincinnati in the bottom of the 4th. But they lose to Cleveland. Tigers walloping the Orioles 14-0. Oh, the D-backs, my gosh, their bullpen sucks. They're up 6-0. They give up 3 in the 8th, 3 in the 9th, but then win it in the 12th. How about that? And Bryce Harper couldn't get it going on for Philadelphia as the Marlins have won 2 in a row to move back to 500. And Harper saying the team needs some moves at deadline, which is Monday, the trade deadline. I think we need some help. I think we're pretty I think we've proved pretty much all year we've done a pretty good job. But anytime you can get some help in there and reinforcement, I think it helps. Asked about a bat and arm, I think both. And he said that he would be willing to move back to the outfield if that's what it took. Bryce Harper, he's a team player right there for you. See what the Phillies
You like Bryce?
do. Oh, I love him. I love his intensity.
I think he's a fun guy to watch.
Yeah. Now, I had the opportunity to see him when he was just a tyke. And some of that travel ball stuff, oh my gosh. If it was a weekend tournament,
everybody was watching him.
If it started on Thursday, he's like 12 years old. The word around the site would be, Bryce Harper's flying in. He'll be here Saturday. I'm dead serious. I am totally serious. And then there's a club here. It's named after somebody. Somebody financed it. They had a family issue or tragedy, and I forget the name of the team. In this, they play in the summer.
Marshalls?
Yeah, there you go. And he played on that team.
Oh, did he play on the Marshalls?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he flew in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I saw him play for them.
Well, there was lots of connections because he grew up in Vegas, right? So
yeah. And
he'd be at the St. George and the Mesquite tournaments.
Mm-hmm. And he's a Latter-day Saint, or at least he was, or is, or I guess.
Still is.
Yeah. Not that it matters to me, but there is a local connection. Yeah, Sports Illustrated did a big story on him when he was just a tyke, high school kid, and he graduated high school 2 years early so he could start his major league career, and away he goes. But I like his intensity. Yeah, I root for Bryce Harper. Fernando Tatis, 5 hits. The Padres back over 500. There you go. All right, a bunch of day games today if you're interested. And Shohei Ohtani, his next pitching performance, it's undetermined as he deals with bicep issues. I still say he should not pitch. He should just hit, and away you go. Get some other people.
For the rest of his career?
Mm-hmm.
Or?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been saying it for a couple years now. He's so valuable offensively. And I realize he's a good pitcher, but he's had issues virtually every season he pitches. So something's up. Some guys got great arms, but they're injury prone. It happens. There's been a number of great pitchers who got sidelined because of injuries, and they just couldn't. They didn't have any staying power. Not everybody's Nolan Ryan. He can go through 200 pitches.
What's the disadvantage of having him pitch and hit? I mean, because if your bicep hurts, you can still hit.
Right, but statistically, there's stats that show when he tries to hit when he pitches, it doesn't work. So you're basically losing a bat every time he pitches. So you're sacrificing something.
So every fifth game, you're losing his bat.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why it hasn't been done. You only got so much energy in your body, and his arm's breaking down, and maybe it impacts his hitting. I just let him hit, swing away, DH. That's what it's there for. So use it. The Bees lost their opener 9-2 to the Sugarland Space Cowboys. Game 2 in the series tonight. First pitch 6:05 and coverage on 12:80 a.m. with Tony Parks will begin at 6 p.m. Okay, we're going to hit some college football today. Coming up at 8 o'clock, Jay Hill. You may have heard of him, former Weber State coach, former BYU defensive coordinator, and what is he doing right now? He's coaching Michigan. He is the Michigan Wolverines defensive coordinator. He will join us at 8 o'clock, thanks to Riley Jensen's connections. Yeah, tapping in. This guy's somebody. I ain't got no connections.
Guys, I'm kind of a big deal.
You are. There's no doubt, man. I try to get guys on. They ask,
listen, if you don't
will it
believe
help your
me,
career? I say yes. They say screw it. I'm not doing it.
If you don't believe me, just ask me. I'll tell you. I'm a big freaking deal.
Oh, I know you. That's why you're my first call. I'm like that lawyer. You're my only call. One call.
Call, that's all?
Every time DJ's out, I call you.
I don't know what I am actually really grateful for that.
I go right to you.
I don't know why. I don't know why you like me. You don't like anyone.
I don't know. You may have done something along the lines that caused me to like you. But yeah, I think you're great.
We can't think what that is.
You're very good at radio, and you've done radio for a long time. You understand radio.
I know, and it was because of you and DJ that I actually got my start. Yeah. Aggie Under the Bleacher. Yeah. Aggie Under the Bleacher circa 2002. I've been making verbal faux pas ever since.
You were a first-team All-Whacker. That's why we had you on.
I'm sure that's coming, right, Jake? Oh, doesn't feel like my voice has changed very much. I always want to deny it. That's not me. Listen to that voice. It's not, and it sounds.
He's a first-team All-Whacker.
Oh man.
That was one of the finest moments in zone history.
Listen, I didn't even know what I said for like a minute. I'm looking over at Ryan Hatch. Ryan Hatch was subbing in that morning. I'm looking over at Ryan Hatch, and his eyeballs and his face are like this big. And I'm like I couldn't think what I said. I'm like, dude, I didn't say anything.
He's a first-team All-Whacker.
Bless Kobe Carl.
That's right up there.
Kobe Carl.
With the D in Alice.
Right.
Which DJ said he was trying to be clever.
What's the one with Monson where he's like, hey, where you at?
Damian Hunter. Well,
how you hanging on? Where are you?
I'm in San Bernardino right now.
A 2-minute question. You may have gotten the carries as a part-timer, and then this, I talked to you, and I don't know. It's all over the place. Oh my gosh! I once played. I had to do, occasionally we do some public speaking, so I had to go down to the Miller Group down at Jordan Commons, and they said, "Do you have anything that you want to, audio-wise?" And so I used a couple of blips. I used the one where DJ says to a woman caller, "You don't sound like a Debbie." Well, I've been one for a long time.
You don't really sound like a Debbie.
Well, I've been one for a long time.
All right.
I dropped to the floor on that one.
Oh,
and I used that one, and then I used the San Bernardino one, and the audience went nuts.
Yeah.
They loved him.
You passive-aggressive little punks.
Wasn't he sick during that one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was. And I was in Mexico on the Jazz Beach Bash, so I wasn't available to be here that day.
That was a good one, too. You
So-
passive-aggressive.
Wang.
And Wang. Play that one so Riley can hear it.
And Wang.
He's such a nerd.
He's such a nerd.
That's why we love him.
Here. He's not
That's
here
why we
to
love
defend
him.
himself.
I've said that a million times to his face. That's why he's so lovable.
I agree with PK.
because he is a nerd. Oh man! So we'll have Jay Hill coming up. It's Big Ten Media Days, man. We'll talk a little bit how Riley thinks all those LDS guys who are now invading Michigan. We're going back, but many years ago they came west. Now they're going east, and they're in Ann Arbor. And we'll have Jay Hill at the top of the hour talk a little bit how he thinks that staff is going to do there next. Stay with us, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome to This is Jay Scott and Ben Anderson.
I am back to where I was before this whole summer league started.
Hall of Famer bust?
Are we sure any rookie is starting?
Oh, no. We should not be.
No.
I don't think that ever changed, though.
No, I'm totally with you. I started off with, I don't think he's going to start. I said I wouldn't be shocked if Svi Mikhailiuk starts. Maybe it's Ace, but the Jazz are trying to win games next year. Ace wasn't particularly good when he was on the floor in summer league either. I know he had back injuries, but is Ace ready to help you get to the playoffs as a starting shooting guard in the NBA? Well, the truth is probably not, and I think Darren is showing that right now, probably not. He's certainly not the best option you have. And if you are worried about the game of politics out there of, well, why is Ace coming off the bench for Darren if Darren was good but not great in summer league and Ace was good but not great during an entire regular season? Maybe the answer is neither of them starts. That's totally fine.
Catch Jake and Ben afternoons from 2 to 6 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Sitting in is Riley Jensen. Now, we've picked up a local football team. We've expanded. We've got the locals in the state, and I think this year and in the subsequent coming years, who knows how long we'll go, that Michigan football has become a big local story. Obviously, with Kyle Whittingham taking over the head coaching job. And not just that, bringing in a number of guys that have Utah ties. Jason Beck is a coordinator. He was the coordinator. He worked for Ronnie Mack at Weber, and then obviously he was backup quarterback to John Beck at BYU and the offensive coordinator at Utah. He's going to be the offensive coordinator. I think he's a rising star in the business. And you've got Coy Detmer, who is Ty's nephew, who was a quarterback coach here last year. Doug Elisaya, he's the what do they call it? The director of football sports performance. I mean, we usually call it the strength and conditioning. Gennaro Guilford, longtime BYU guy, is the cornerback. Jim Harding, longtime offensive line coach for the Utes. Jay Hill, defensive coordinator. And let's see, you got Kenny Niumatalolo's son, assistant tight ends coach. Lewis Powell, been here forever.
Isn't Kyle's son's the tight ends coach?
Yeah. No, Kyle's brother, Freddie.
But his son is coaching there.
Alex's linebacker coach. Micah Simon played at BYU, coached at Utah, is the wide receiver coach. So there are so many strong ties.
Luke Batari, the kid that subbed in a couple.
Oh, yeah,
he's
Chris Stapleton lookalike guy?
Not anymore. He's got a nice haircut. He's all cleaned up now.
Oh, because, it's time to be an adult.
I ran into him down in Newport Beach this year. And he's like, I was actually like staring at his tat. I'm like, that's a really good tat that guy has. And I was just kind of staring at him. He's like, Riley? And I'm like, Luke? Because I didn't even recognize him without the long hair. Now, when I did quarterback training for him when he was in high school. Uh-huh. And that's how I'd know him.
Sure.
He went to the same high school as Tom Brady.
Oh, cool.
So he's from Northern California. And he's like, Riley? And I'm like, oh, dude, Luke, I was just about to compliment you on your tattoo. I didn't even know that was you. And I go, you're all cleaned up. He was awesome.
Oh, you got to grow up. You got to get a job. You got to play by the rules.
Well, if you knew Luke, though, like the Luke Bryan thing, I think it was more of a persona thing. Because if you know him as a person, attention to detail, very, very, like, he wasn't a 6'5" guy, so he's never going to get everything you want. But as far as like knowing how to play the position, knowing like what football is all about, I mean, he's going to be a great coach someday.
Cool.
Fun guy.
Good. Wish him well.
It was good to see him. That was the last, and I was standing there with my son, so I got some street cred with my son because I'm like, hey, that's the assistant quarterbacks coach for Michigan. He's like, it is? Because he didn't have any Michigan gear. I mean, obviously he's not recruiting. He was on vacation before the season starts.
Yeah, I got you.
And he's like, that's he coaches for Michigan?
Yeah.
So that was
fun. There's a ton of Utah connections, state of Utah, BYU, and even Weber has a connection there with Jason Beck. Just your initial impressions of taking a bunch of Utah guys, essentially, plopping them down at the winningest school in college football history. Where, I've been back there. I don't know if you guys have been back there. I've been back there a couple of times. My wife's mother grew up there, so I've been back for personal reasons beyond work. I've been back there for work a number of times. And, wow, I mean, you can't get any bigger than that.
Major blue blood program.
Initial impression.
So the initial impression is this. I don't think – and there was a part of me when the whole thing went down with Michigan and Kyle had just resigned. I'm like, dude, they're going to go get Kyle. Like, and this was before anybody like said anything. Kyle is the perfect fit for what they need right now. They need 5 years of like clean, above the board football. Yeah. He's going to bring stability. He's going to bring the old fashioned Michigan toughness to the program. Like everything that they want, they're going to get out of this staff. And he doesn't have. Like, I know so many of those guys that you just named on their staff, like, none of them are problem children. Mm. Like, there's not going to be issues off the field. Like, this is a great staff. They know how to play football. They know how to coach football. They brought in some really, really great players. I'm surprised they didn't get more BYU players. They hardly got any. But they stole a couple of very significant University of Utah players. They've got a great coaching staff. My initial impression is they're going to hit the ground running. Like, this is going to be a team that's in the conversation, if not this year, next year for the national championship. And I think this is a perfect fit for Michigan. And I think what's really interesting, and we'll talk to Jay, in the next hour here, I think it sets up perfectly for Jay to be the head coach there.
It does. If not him, Jason Beck.
Right. But one of those two are going to be the head coach at Michigan after this. Because they're gonna see the success, and people aren't going to go, well, they're going to be like, we don't have to go anywhere.
Right.
This is Michigan. It's all in place. And I can't say enough nice things about a lot of the guys that are on staff there. This is a great move for Michigan. I think it hurts Utah for a couple of years. I think it hurts the University of Utah, and I think it hurts BYU for a couple. Both of those teams, it hurts them a little bit. And here's let me tell you what my theory is on some of this stuff. So you take a good defensive coordinator, or you take a good offensive coordinator, and I think they're a plus or minus 2 for your team.
What do you mean by 2?
So
2 wins, 2 points?
So what I mean is 2 wins. I think if they're really, really good, they get you about 2 more wins per season. I think if they're really, really bad, they get you about 2 losses per season. And if you're average, you're just about where you would be. I think Jay Hill is a plus 2.
Certainly wasn't Provo. And it was
Does that make sense? So I think that BYU has to overcome that. Now, I'm not saying that Coach Papinga isn't going to be great on defense. I have a lot of good things to say about him as well. But does he have all the nuanced ability and all the ability of play calling and all the different things that Jay Hill has? He doesn't yet. He doesn't have the accolade. He doesn't have the experience that Jay had. But he certainly had 2 years to watch a guy do it for really, really well.
No question.
You know what I mean? So I don't know how far the drop-off is there, but I do think Jay Hill's been a plus 2. Now, on the other side, you go to the University of Utah on the offensive side of the ball, and I think he was a plus 2. I think Coach Beck was a plus 2 as an offensive coordinator. And I think you have to overcome that. So I'm not saying, these teams aren't going to make a bowl game. They're not going to be competitive. They're not going to be good. But I do think they have some coaching deficiencies to overcome. And I really like Kevin McGivern. I like him. I think he's a journeyman coach who has done amazing things at schools that don't have half the athletes the University of Utah do.
Right.
I mean, he's been at San Jose State. He's been at University of Utah. I mean, I think he was at San Jose State last, and he had that wide receiver that led the nation in receiving. He knows how to call plays. He's going to have an opportunity with some really good players and a really good quarterback right now to make some hay and to make a name for himself as well. Mm-hmm. So I know the original question is, how's the fit? I think it's fantastic. I think University of Utah and BYU are going to do great, but I do think there's a little bit of an adjustment there as far as coaching goes.
Any concern about just being in a different environment that is foreign? I mean, all these guys, when they got these jobs, they'd been trained in the so-called, just the familiarity of the location.
Right.
They knew what to say. They knew how to behave and everything. And and they knew all the high school coaches because they've had deep roots here.
I think it's tougher to be a really good coach in Utah because it's more nuanced than it is to be a really good coach at any school in the country because there's not as many moving parts. Like you got the missionary program when you're coaching in the state of Utah. You got the Polynesians that are significant contributors to college football in the state of Utah. You've got people in the state of Utah that love to see local players play, but when you're trying to build a national program at Utah or BYU, it can't all be built around local players, right? So I think it's a little bit more nuanced to be really good in the state of Utah. I think it takes a little bit of pressure off of them at Michigan.
Okay.
And I think the one thing that has been interesting to me is that they have enough confidence in themselves at Michigan to bring a kid from the state of Utah in that they know is a top-level player. They brought the Moa kid in from Fremont. They have some players that they're still bringing in from the state of Utah, and they're like, hey, people just don't know it, but kids from the state of Utah, when we know A, B, and C about a kid, we know he can play national championship type football at Michigan.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So I think it's less difficult. Now, the pressure is different. I think the pressure is different than University of Utah. If they don't win,
yeah. You look at, Riley, that when the Utes went to the first Rose Bowl, I talked to countless amount of Utah fans. I mean, that was an unbelievable game, right, with Ohio State. And all Utah fans, everyone that I spoke to, they had the time of their lives. That whole time down there going to the parade, it was like a dream come true. And it didn't matter that they lost. And I get it. I agree with them. It didn't matter. It was an unbelievable game.
It will at Michigan.
That's what I'm saying. So you're not going to get, wow, we had the time of our lives, but we lost. No, you didn't. If you didn't, I was in the Rose Bowl in 1987 when the Sun Devils beat Michigan. And you could see the looks on the Michigan people's faces. They weren't very happy. You know who the quarterback was then? You may have heard of him.
Harbaugh.
Yes.
Jim Harbaugh.
Of course, I meant the quarterback for Arizona State.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
I don't know who that was.
Yeah, a forgettable name, but a guy named Jeff Van Raphorst, who is the...
He did play in the NFL for a bit.
Who is the radio analyst for the Sun Devils and still living off that 1987.
Amen.
Because he's the only guy who won a Rose Bowl for the Sun Devils.
Ride it.
Yeah.
Ride that thing.
That's his claim to fame. And I went to that. I was living over there. I just moved over there and went to that game as a fan. And so, yeah, the pressure that they haven't had, the scrutiny.
There's going to be a high level of scrutiny. But here's the thing. It's not like Kyle's cutting his teeth with like new coordinators and that he's a new coach. He's not going to make the mistakes that he made in year 1, year 2 as the head coach at the University of Utah. He's going to make the right decisions.
But, and I listened to him. He did an interview the other day because they all got in earlier in the week for Big Ten Media Days in Chicago. And Rich Eisen is a Michigan guy, apparently, was interviewing him. And I'm thinking, I'm driving home after work. I'm thinking this is going to be fun. And he says, Rich says, what's it going to be like when you put the headphones on in the big house?
And Kyle's like, it's like any
Well,
other
I already
game.
did that during spring football multiple times. He wouldn't have of it. He wouldn't hear it. So
that part, I'll tell you that part, and I know we probably need to get to a break. It is interesting to watch all these high-profile interviews that he now gets.
Oh yeah,
like it just seems like it's happening like every week. He's on with
certainly
Rich
when he
Eisen.
got the job. Yeah, it
and
was.
like I'm just like, holy cow, that guy used to he used to be at the like yogurt shop over in Fort Union. Do you know what I mean? And now I'm like, oh, he's on TV again with Rich Eisen this week, and it's like, even though Kyle had that persona here, like you would still see him at normal places around here, and it wasn't like, and people weren't up accosting him and like.
No.
I don't know. I'll bet it's a little different now.
Yeah.
I'll bet there's places in Michigan he can't really go and like enjoy just the normal life.
Okay, we'll have more of this coming up. Stay with us. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Okay, Jay Hill coming up in our next segment now. We talk about hitting the ground running for Michigan. It's going to be tough, man. Week 2, Oklahoma's coming into Ann Arbor. They got their schedule on their website, and it said, sold out, buy on SeatGeek. And then they go to Iowa. No, Iowa comes into Ann Arbor, sold out, buy on SeatGeek. And then then they go to Minnesota. Then Penn State comes in October 17th, the same day BYU's playing Notre Dame, sold out, buy on SeatGeek. And it's 100,000 that they have there. And then the next week after that, after Penn State, Indiana comes in.
Sold out.
Sold out. You caught on. Yeah. Then they got a week off when they go to Rutgers, and then,
Michigan goes to Rutgers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Halloween Day.
Teams like Rutgers,
October 31st. Yeah.
They have it so easy, and they suck every year.
They do. And then the next week, Michigan State comes in, sold out. And then they go to the following week after that, November 14th, they go to Eugene, Oregon. And then they've got, you tell you, nobody respects UC Los Angeles because on the 21st of November, that's not sold out. And then, of course, at the end, they go to Columbus. So they play Penn State, Indiana, Oregon, Ohio State, Oklahoma.
Kind of a fun schedule.
Okay, you still think you'll hit the ground running?
Yes. I mean, look, they have an established quarterback. They don't have to reestablish that they're Michigan. They're Michigan. I mean, there's so many things in place. Now, Underwood was not that great last year.
A little shaky.
He was
a first-year freshman.
Yeah, 11 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. I think he's going to significantly improve. And if he improves significantly, then, oh, man, this team, there's a lot of key things in place for them. And then the stuff that they've brought in from the University of Utah, the coaching staff, the recruiting that they've done, I would be very surprised if they're not right there competing for the championship of their conference.
Okay, the voice you hear is Riley Jensen sitting in. We appreciate his opportunity to tell us what he thinks and coming on in when DJ's off right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Now, what we have next is our guy, Jay Hill, calling in, defensive coordinator at the University of Michigan. Stay with us right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Now with McDonald's, wake up to a $4 breakfast meal deal. Wake up to a sausage McMuffin or sausage biscuit, to hash browns, and wake up to a hot coffee. Get your $4 breakfast meal deal.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.